Have you ever taken your students to a soup kitchen? Try to imagine for a moment the details of an experience like that. Imagine the place. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Imagine the people there. What do they look like? What expressions are on their faces? What are they wearing? Now, imagine your students there. What are they doing at the soup kitchen? Now I want you to imagine a potluck. Have you ever taken students to a potluck or been at a potluck with your students? What does that look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Imagine the people there. What are they doing? What expressions are on their face? What are they wearing? And what are you and your students doing at the potluck? Now, both soup kitchens and potlucks generally have the same purpose, to feed people, but they have drastically different approaches to meet this goal. So, what do soup kitchens and potlucks have to do with preparing teenagers for mission trips? I'm glad you asked, because comparing the two can serve as an illustration to help us prepare students' hearts for any kind of mission work. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, you should know why you should do missions with students and how to make sure that your mission work with students is tethered to and rooted in the gospel. And you should have some good filters for choosing where you serve. So what's next? Preparing your students for mission work. When we look at the life of Jesus, we see three things. We see a lot of things, but we see at least these three things. Number one, we see that place matters. Jesus came to earth, to a specific place at a specific time to dwell among us. We read in John 1:14. Not only does place matter, but proximity changes relationships. Jesus didn't minister from a distance. He got close to people. He touched people. He allowed people to touch him. He connected with people relationally, even with, especially with, those who were marginalized. A great example of this we see in Matthew 26, 6 through 13. Place matters, proximity changes relationships, and lastly, we see that posture speaks louder than words. Jesus came not to be served, but to serve, we read in Mark 10:24, or 10:45 rather. Though he was the creator and sustainer of the universe, he lived a life of humility, we read in Philippians chapter 2. And that humility made him accessible, made him approachable. Sinners and outcasts felt comfortable coming to him.
To access the full course and additional videos to equip you in gospel-centered youth ministry, visit rootedreservoir.com.